It is time to rewrite the money script. We have been sold a boatload of lies from the day we were born. Hello, magnificent human. I am Maria Elise, and I wrote The Realm of Unity. I am here to bring more joy, purpose, and abundance into your life. The lies that you have been fed may be different from the lies that I have been fed. But I think it's safe to assume that we have all picked up a lot of misbeliefs when it comes to money. Most of our beliefs in this world are based on fear, lack, not having enough, greed, deprivation, hoping, wishing, wanting, hoarding, overspending, going into debt. And if you're lucky, maybe having a few moments where you actually feel relaxed and at ease and trusting that money is working for you. Money is a construct. It is something that we made up. It isn't even real. The paper that you see that we call money only has value because we've decided that it does. The actual paper thing that you hold in your hand has absolutely no value. You would discover this pretty quickly if the whole monetary system were to suddenly collapse right now. Because nobody would want your money. They would want your food or your seeds or your supplies. Maybe you could burn it and have a little bit of heat for a moment, but that's about it. And now we barely use paper at all. It's actually just a bunch of numbers in a computer. It doesn't actually mean anything. The whole concept of money is just a belief rattling around in our heads. It is a collective agreement based on what the numbers say. We are in a time when things are changing. You probably know by now that I believe we're in a time of collapse. One of the things that I have spent some time diving into is looking at the financial structures of the world. I have come to understand that basically our entire financial system is a giant Ponzi scheme. Those with billions of dollars, they just move money around in convoluted ways and use fancy language in order to generate massive amounts of money out of nothing. They have won the money game, or have they? The amount of money that you have and the amount of wealth that you have may or may not be connected. I'm using the term wealth to describe how safe, comfortable, cared for, and relaxed that you feel daily. Some people have very little money in their bank account, yet they feel completely secure, knowing with 100% certainty that their needs are always taken care of. They don't worry about food. They don't worry about how their rent is going to be paid. They have a specific belief system that says that everything works out for their good. And it does. Some people have large numbers on their computer balance sheet, yet they constantly feel nervous and anxious around money. The amount of money that you have in your bank account may or may not be correlated to how wealthy you actually are. The most critical part of this equation is how you feel inside. This is what it is meant by your vibration. How you're holding the concept of money and what your relationship is to it. How do you feel when you think about money? Do you feel supported, loved, cared for, like it's always going to be there? Or do you feel like it's fleeting, hard to get, difficult? It's just like a relationship with anybody else in your life. You can think of it as another entity. I've been in this deep process of unraveling all my money scripts, rewriting everything, looking at the lies that I have been told, looking at the lies that I've told myself, and exchanging them for beliefs that are more in alignment with how I wish to feel. Anything we might tell ourselves, any belief, is ultimately just a thought in our head. We have the opportunity to choose our thoughts. As you cultivate awareness and grow in consciousness, you can start to discern helpful versus unhelpful beliefs. Do your beliefs support you to live a more vibrant and joyful life? One of our tasks as humans is to rewrite the script around money. Negative thoughts around money consume a substantial amount of collective mental energy. Consider this thought exercise. What if one day we all woke up in a perfect world? Everyone had a home, food, and whatever anybody needed just manifested effortlessly. What if you knew 100% that anything you needed at any moment would always be there? How would you feel inside? What would you do? What would you want to create? The reason for this thought exercise is because I believe that we are moving into this world. It is a world where thoughts of scarcity and lack no longer exist, where all our needs are cared for. It is a world where we would never consider doing a job just for money. We would only ever follow our soul's calling, our intuitive wisdom. We would show up for the world in a way that is completely and 100% in alignment with ourselves. This is truly who we are meant to be. This is the utopian world that I have envisioned. If you have a hard time imagining this kind of world, then I wrote my book, The Realm of Unity, for you. It is an immersive experience into a new world. It's a world where humans have all awakened. Everyone is supported. In this world, the only task you have is to seek out and find your soul purpose and to follow it. Everyone is in alignment with this. Everyone supports you in this. And there is never a concern about money or how to get more of it or where it's going to come from or how to pay your bills. So, to be completely transparent, I'm going to share with you some of the belief systems that I have been unraveling, and maybe you can relate. These are some of my old beliefs. There's not enough for everyone. I have to do a job that I don't like to pay my bills. I can't have what I want. There's not enough to go around. There's never enough. I can't afford it. The system is unfair. Rich people are greedy. It's never going to work. I'm not good with money. I have to scrimp and save if I ever want to retire. Do you have any of these belief systems? Have you carried any of these in your body? Again, I reiterate, none of these are true. They are all just thoughts in your head. I encourage you to challenge yourself to shift these beliefs inside yourself. One of the ways to do that is to take each belief one by one and find evidence that it is not true, or at least not the only way to look at the world. For instance, I can think rich people are greedy. This one's important because if I hold this to be true, I may want to be rich, but if I don't want to be a greedy person, then I will find ways to push money away. This one is actually very easy to disprove. You just have to find one rich person who is generous and kind. So I can shift that old belief and say, well, there might be some rich people that are greedy, but being rich doesn't automatically make me a greedy person. Being greedy is a fear based consciousness. And it is possible to have lots of money, but also be loving, generous, and kind. In fact, I would argue that those people are the ones who actually should have the money. How about I'm bad with money? That's another belief that I've held. When I look into my past, I can find instances where I made choices with money that I'm not happy about. But I've also made wise choices that I do feel good about. I can disprove these old, worn out beliefs and come up with new ones. So, for instance, I can change that belief and say, I make wise choices with my money and I learn from my mistakes. So, as you shift these beliefs, you actually create new neuronal pathways in your brain. New experiences then can arise in your consciousness. The process of shifting beliefs also shifts behavior. I make wiser choices. An even faster way to unravel unhelpful money beliefs is to go straight to the origin. So, we have been born into a fear based construct. Nearly everything in our world has been built upon fear. But we are now in a time of collapsing this old structure. One powerful exercise that you can do is to actually go to the new world now, today. Imagine your highest and best world. Feel it, embrace it. Ask yourself, if I knew I was safe, if I knew that the universe was working for my benefit, what would I do? If I knew I was always cared for, what would I do? These are really powerful ways to start to shift our old paradigm and go into a new reality. We are in an incredible time of shifting constructs. As the world seems to be collapsing around us, there's actually nothing to fear. We get to write the script. We are the director, we are the producers, and we are the actors in the play. I ask you the question, what are you creating? What are you deciding? What are you choosing? What do you want? No matter what happens around you, consciousness goes on forever. In every moment, you get to decide how you want to perceive that moment and how you want to behave, how you want to treat others, and think about a particular situation. You always have choices, no matter what is happening. If you're interested in discovering this new world, I highly recommend that you get a copy of my book, The Realm of Unity. It is very easy to read, and it will take you into this new world and introduce you to a possibility that perhaps you have never considered before. I hope this was helpful, and I send you so much love.